Hello everybody. It's been a while since I don't know if I'm even in frame. It's been quite a while since I've posted much on Bleepin' and Bloopin'. I think my last one was doing some rehab on a Marantz field recorder. And mostly I've been posting on my other channel that I created that's more performance oriented, where I just post tracks of things that I'm working on. I think, like I mentioned in that other video, I want to take this one and make it be a little more, kind of lean more into the technical discussion type things, and then use my other channel for posting pieces that are maybe not totally finished, because I never finish anything, but at least recorded. I do want to bring this one back alive and talk a bit more, use it to talk a bit more about the broader scope of what I've been working on and thinking and cooking up on the side. You probably really know my stuff mostly from modular, which is how I got into synthesis and electronic music. It's been a pretty long journey to my now current state of mostly feedback works. In the last 9 months to a year, I've been expanding outside of the modular and using a lot of tape machine stuff, like the Marantz that I repaired in that previous video. I've kind of amassed a bit too many of those, and one thing that I really want to start trying to do as a result of that kind of falling in love with old analog tape and things like that and using it in my feedback work is that I want to build out a little studio that's really dedicated to that, and invite people to come and collaborate. I think that's a big thing that I've been missing. I started out in synthesis just in my little office in my home in Tucson. Sorry for the traffic noise, and I'm sure the audio here is pretty bad because I've since moved to this tiny apartment in New Hampshire. But I'm gonna be moving to Boston, and I'm gonna have a nice space and a pretty big dedicated area just for audio work. And so part of what I want to do there is build out a little studio where I can work, and I can hopefully meet a lot of other like-minded people in the Boston area, or anywhere in New England, really. Anywhere, really. So if that's you, who wants to come and collaborate on these cool vintage machines, and do a bit of a hybrid studio setup where, you know, we send things to tape and digital interfaces, and do a lot of really cool experimental stuff. So that's kind of the beginnings of the vision. And part of that vision is to, of course, have a really neat and big and awesome soundboard. And this weekend I was in Boston for an event called Noise Salon. I highly recommend you check that out. It was an amazing event. It was over the span of 3 days, so Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon. Lots of great performances and lots of great people. So I'm looking forward to moving to Boston and having access to things like that more often, more easily, and hopefully finding other people who are interested in this kind of thing. While I was there, I found on Facebook Marketplace, someone had posted this amazing Teac Model 5 setup. And I have really been drawn to these old Teac models just from, you know, research and things that I've been doing online. I know they're not amazing studio grade mixers, but they really feels like it's going to be perfect for the kind of stuff that I want to do, because so basically I was really just looking for one of these. This 1/2 8 channels, 4 buses, but there was a guy posted for sale in the suburbs just west of Boston with the main mixer, this expander. Also got the external sub mixer, which is a rack unit that matches from Teac. 2-channel, I think it's 10 band each graphic EQ from Teac that matches. and an RCA to 1/4 inch patch bay, because most of these connections are RCA. And also he included a mixing desk that was custom built to fit these. It's definitely showing signs of wear, and I'll probably end up building my own version of it, but it'll be nice to get me started in the new space. I'll already have a desk. It's definitely got some water damage and it'll need some cleanup, but it'll do the job for getting started, and not having to buy surfaces for the new space. So I'm really excited about this. You can see it's pretty dirty. You know, my one thing, I was just expecting to pick up a pretty big project for the price of all that gear, and you know, when I saw kind of the visual condition that it was in, you know, one thing that really bums me out is the desk that they had made. They painted it red, and they painted the side plates here to match. They painted these side plates black. I don't know, not really my thing, kind of a bummer. But I did do some testing this morning, and actually just a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, and you can see this black comes right off, and this red comes right off. So that'll be one thing. We're not moving to Boston officially until July 1st, and I don't really have anywhere to have this whole setup in my current New Hampshire apartment. But I am gonna get started on kind of the cleanup and rehab process. But the good news is that I've tested every channel going to all 4 buses, and it all works. View meters all work, Q, effect sends all work, mic and line inputs, everything is functional. EQs, I guess I haven't tested the headphone output, but whatever. Just the fact that the basic signal flow of all the channels works. So it has really good electronic skeleton, I would say. A lot of these sliders, you know, things are scratchy. Some of the knobs are really hard to turn. I can't remember which ones it was. But actually in the course of testing, it improved dramatically. Like when I tested it before I bought it, bus 2, like it would only come on, it was basically silent, and then suddenly loud. And just since I got it home and tested some more, now it's working pretty flawlessly. So I think by the time I pull everything apart and clean it up, I think I'll have pretty cool functioning mixing desk here. And I want to show you something that one thing that I find really exciting about this is that all the channel strips are all modular, and they come out as a whole. So as I go through the process of maybe revitalizing the electronics a bit, I'm thinking about, you know, replacing capacitors, and I've read that swapping out the op amps to some more modern drop-in equivalents can help remove some of the noise, but we still get that awesome transformer balance overdrive sound that these things can create. But so I can kind of do that channel by channel, and I was going to show you kind of how that works, because if we look at this, see this has got a big dent in the faceplate here, and I think I'd like to start with, you know, having the main 8-channel mixer really great, and then getting the second one, the expander, up and running, you know, longer term project. So since all these channels are modular, they're hot swappable or cold swappable. I guess you wouldn't really want to do it with it turned on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this channel that has the dented panel, which I think ultimately I can take apart and probably straighten up and clean up. I'm going to pull this channel out and replace it with one of these, so you can kind of see how cool this thing is and how easy it is to do that. So all you really got to do is take out 2 screws on each one. So you go.
Another cool thing that I actually didn't even realize until I got home. I was kind of so excited about, like, didn't pay super close attention, but this is a delightful surprise. The versions of this expander.
And we're filthy in there. That's going to be one thing. Ultimately, I'm going to pull all the modules out and clean everything. Let's see. Yeah, we'll just take this channel 1 out. So yeah, you take these 2, 1 screw on either side, flip it down, and boom, you've got access to each of your channels. you know, I'm gonna do a lot of aesthetic cleanup, like all this rust here. Thankfully, all these things all comes apart with just a few screws. So I'm gonna pop that, clean it with wire brush, get all the rust off, spray it to match this, and then I'll stamp some new numbers on there. I might even, in some places, like replace the Tolex. We can repaint the black if we want to. You know, this kind of, if I get really excited and want to make it look as new as possible. But I do intend to pull out every channel, pop off all the knobs, clean all this stuff really intensely, you know, do some fader lube inside of all the faders and all the trim pots, and just get it all really clean and nice. The view meters work, but they don't light up. But you know, that's what happens when you have 50-year-old bulbs. So yeah, so we pop those two out, flip this down. One screw here in the front releases the channel, and then you just pull it forward, and boom. There we have the whole channel here. I believe that's our transformer, our input, so our mic balance transformer, and switch access to switches, knobs. It's all surface mount stuff. You can see, I mean, even these old capacitors, really, none of them are visually leaky or anything, so that's nice. And just a couple of op amps here. I know that this is just the Model 5, not the 5A or 5B. Is it 5A or 5B? I can't remember. There's like a second version, and it has slightly better op amps, 4559s versus these 4558s. So worst case, I could just pop those out and get basically upgrade it to be the Model A. I don't think there's a whole lot of other difference. Maybe something in the outputs. But yeah, you can see this will be pretty easy to recap the audio path. There's only 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 capacitors per strip. Easy to pop in and out, easy to replace. And so I can just go channel by channel and not have the whole thing down. Oh wow, hold on, I just noticed something pretty interesting. Oh, this must be, I see. I wasn't expecting there to be a board on this blatant panel. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop that out and let's have a look at that. I find so many neat things. So this is where the bus sends. Oh yeah, here we go. We got solo and Q. We got Q and echo. And then we got the bus ins and outs on all 4 here. And that's what goes to the back. So that's pretty neat. Again, very easy to work on should I want to replace anything. And then these 2 panels are just empty, I believe. There might be something in this far left one. Oh, I'm gonna bring the camera down here for a second so you can see how kind of gross it is in there. I don't know if you can see that. It's really, really dirty. So of course, before I really do anything to it, I'm just gonna pull all the channels and clean it all up. But let's see what's inside here. Looks like there might be something on this other blank channel. It's probably the power supply. Yeah, so there's a power supply board. We got fuses, main power supply capacitors. Yeah, pretty nice. This might be a place where we can do some cleanup, maybe replace some of these old caps and try to get the power supply to be a bit more quiet. There's a duplicate of this on this strip here, which is the power supply for the main board. And yeah, so we'll go ahead and push this one back in. This one back in. Part of what you're gonna see on this channel for a little bit is me refurbishing this board, me refurbishing other stuff, and basically building out my analog tape studio. I'm really excited for the tape machine to get here. I had a oh wait, no, we're gonna leave this one out because we're gonna swap them. I purchased the tape machine, 2-track mastering machine, an Otari MX 5050, and I also got that somewhat locally down, not directly here. I had to drive a couple hours. I did a whole bunch of testing, got a demo from the seller, and it was all looking great. And then I got home and it didn't work. For the tape machine, I really wanted my first one to be service and functional, which is why I bought it from a guy who does that. He has a showroom of many tape machines. I paid a little bit of a premium to have a high quality functioning machine right off the bat. And that's not really what I got. No, but I don't want to disparage the seller. That's why I'm not really talking too much about where I got it specifically, because he's doing a good job of sorting it out. He's sourcing a new machine, and hopefully in the next week or two, I'll be going down and picking that one up. As far as I know, he's already got another one that he pulled from his storage, and he's been tweaking and tuning, getting it all calibrated and tested and cleaned up. So maybe my next video or a soon to come video, we will I'll show you guys that, and that'll be exciting. So this is the strip I just pulled from here. It's still pretty filthy in there. I don't know if you all can really see, but it's very much the same as what we showed over here. One thing I'm noticing is that this board has got some kind of sticky goop kind of all over it. So I think that kind of stuff be easy to clean up with some contact cleaner. So we'll probably do that at some point, but I'm gonna slide this one back in here. And then this is the non-dented channel that I pulled from this side. And we're gonna drop it in here. And yeah, there's not, I'm gonna end up pulling all of this out this weekend or something. But I was mostly just using this as a chance to show off some of the nifty coolness that this machine can do. And then we just clip it back in there, put these screws back in. And now our main board has the 8 nicest channels. The only thing that's really somewhat broken is we're missing the Q button. I think I could probably replace that pretty easily. And like I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned this, I was rambling, but the view meters don't light up. They move, they bounce, they work as expected, but they don't light. And that's a little bit of a bummer, but I have found online you can source those bulbs if I want to replace it with basically the same bulbs. But I've been thinking I can probably measure the voltage across the bulb that's there and replace it with a similar voltage, like nice amber colored LED to kind of bring it into the future. The screw doesn't want to line up. Interesting. Should be it. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Anyway, well, that's that. I hope you all are as excited about this as I am. I know that doesn't really make sense. No reason you would be. But hopefully we'll get some good videos, and then we can start adding, you know, analog process videos to this channel. And like I said, if you're in New England, or you want to make the trip to New England, to Boston, and you want to do some cool collaboration on tape machines and analog mixing desk, I should have my studio at least ready and functioning a bit mid-July, maybe sooner. I'm going to start moving into the space in June, but we won't be full-time in Boston until early July. Yeah, I'm thinking about the Tascam Studio Bridge, because this machine is designed to work with tapes, with tape machines. It's kind of what the 4 buses are for. Like, you send it to I think it was the 3440. You can send each one. But there's also inserts on all channels. So I had this idea that since the Studio Bridge is designed to kind of drop in place of a tape machine, it has inputs, outputs, and all that, I could put it on the insert bus, every channel on the insert, into the Studio Bridge, and have the monitor from the Studio Bridge come back on the insert inputs. All of this via the patch bays, of course, and then we can patch effects in between and record each channel, play back each channel, and kind of have a nice hybrid setup there. And then the master outs go through the Otari 5050, so we can master out to tape, or we can send individual channels to tape, so we can get, you know, tape saturation, tape effects, and hook it all up with some interesting patch bay routing. Yeah, I'm super psyched, and I hope this works out. I hope I find some people who are also interested in this kind of thing. You know, having been to Noise Salon and having been to all of the synth meetups in Boston at Synth Cube, and then the other one in Amherst at UMass, I'm pretty confident that I'm gonna find some people that, you can see these switches are filthy and hard to move, but they're loosening up, and we're gonna clean them all. Find some people to that, you know, wanna mess around, play with this kind of stuff, make some really cool experimental music, and just collaborate and start to build a community. Bring the community together, people that are interested in this stuff. Oh, I started on this earlier. So every version of the expander that I saw pictures of online actually had 4 blanks here and these 3. So it's 8 channels and 8, so 16 channels. And I was like, oh, 16 channels. Sure, I could have a giant mixing console with 48 channels or whatever, but I envision maybe a different console, something a little more transparent to add on to this down the road. But what I noticed today when I was setting up this video is that I don't have 16 channels. I have 20. This expander has been expanded, because normally it would only have these 8 channels here, and these would be blanks that you could then put more in. And they already put them in. So that makes me pretty excited. A delightful surprise that I just didn't put together when I was checking it out. I haven't tested the rack mount units yet, and I don't really have anywhere to put them right now. So yeah, thanks for watching, listening to me ramble, and again, hit me up if you want to work together on something. Hey guys, slightly in the future, Adam here. I decided while I had these up on this table, I would go ahead and just pull all of the strips out and clean up all that grossness. And look how disgusting. I mean, I think this thing is from the 70s, so 55, yeah, 50 or so years of just gunk and build up. So I'm gonna vacuum all that out, clean it all up, and then lots of corrosion going on here. I might hit that with a wire brush just to clean it up. It's not on any electronics or anything, so it really doesn't matter too much, but I'd like to get it clean while I got everything apart here. I don't know, I just wanted to show how disgusting this is. So I'm gonna get at it with my small handy vac and hopefully get it looking nice and clean inside. You can see my kitchen is currently an explosion of panels. So anyway, I'm gonna get this cleaned up, and that'll at least be a first step. Hey y'all, back again, probably for the last time on this video. Like I said, I went ahead and cleaned up all this stuff here, just real quick, hit it with a vacuum. I did scrub all this with I didn't have a wire brush, but I just used the stiffer bristle brush and some isopropyl alcohol to just kind of get off anything big and gunky that would come off in a first pass like this. It is definitely looking a lot cleaner. Not as clean as I hope to have it in the end, but it does feel really good to have all that grit and loose grime. Now anything that's in here is kind of stuck on pretty good because the isopropyl didn't bring it off. I'm gonna put it all back together now, start kind of planning out the real work of the process I'm gonna go through to make this baby beautiful. I took the side plates off, and I'm just gonna leave those off for now. And that might be the first thing that I do, because I think if I just spray them with some isopropyl, hit it with a brush, I think it'll come off pretty quick. And so I'll do that first things first, and at least get the side panels looking good, because if you come over here and look, it's really is such a shame. I don't know why they would want to put this disgusting red paint and underneath this beautiful walnut veneer. Hope I can get it back to looking like this, and then maybe put a fresh coat of sealant over top of the veneer. I'm gonna get some more of these because on the black sides they took them out and didn't put them back in, so I'm gonna replace those. At least get it looking pretty good. And before I put those side panels on, I'm gonna clean up all the metal edging here. It's disgusting. It's just grit and grime. I'm thinking probably just some steel wool or something like that. I don't know if you've got suggestions for getting this cleaned up and looking nice. Happy to entertain suggestions. All right, thanks a lot.